It's all good. I'm gonna email her a list of what I need and get things going, see if we need to put mom on it or what, so.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Are you in where are you?
I'm in LA.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. I've been back for a week, I guess. It was a quick trip, just for a weekend, basically.
How do you get up there when you go? You fly?
There's a direct flight. It's 2 hours.
Oh my gosh. That's cool.
Yeah. So I took my kid up there and he snowboarded and I sat in the lodge and worked. It was great.
Fun.
Yeah.
Is your place rented out?
It's
Good
solid.
for you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
How are the girls? Are they back at school and stuff?
Oh yeah. Well, Alexa's done next month. She graduates.
What?
And she got a job in New York.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was fast.
I know.
I feel like she just started.
I know.
So Tracy, we're gonna have to go to New York together.
We're gonna have to go to New York, honey. Yes.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm looking forward to it.
Bagel run to New York.
What?
Bagel run to New York.
Oh yeah. Who is that? Rob?
Yeah, I had to log in for Ed because I was taking over the coaching calls yesterday.
Oh, got it.
What did I miss?
Everything. We're
You're
done.
late.
I know. Wait, Brian came in 2 minutes of and started a conversation with me, and then it was.
Don't blame it on Brian. That's
I'm totally blaming it on
take
him.
responsibility for yourself.
All right, I'm in.
Joey, you're missing the big bagel run, so you're lost.
Yeah, you're lost. We're all going to New York for bagels, but you can't come now.
Yeah, do we not have good bagels here anymore?
You're so out of it. Forget it.
We do, but it's an excuse to go to New York.
Oh, I thought there was that place on, I think it's called Brooklyn Bagels on Beverly.
It's terrible. Brooklyn Bagel is awful, I think.
It's awful because they were.
It's just a really tough, hard crust. My jaw hurts chewing those bagels.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think they're any good.
It's
The
a
Brooklyn water
crunchy
bagel.
crust or a chewy crust?
Crunchy.
Oh yeah, it should be chewy, right? A little more chewy than crusty.
No, it's an insult to native East Coasters to say that we have good bagels here. I'm sorry.
Well,
you get used to them.
It used to be the same conversation around pizza, but there's some good pizza here now.
It's good pizza. Yeah.
Oh, pizza. But there's some good pizza. There's actually, and I grew up, in the middle of, a pizza oven.
Right.
Like hanging out at the corner at Pizza Plaza is what it was called. And my friends, I was friends with the guys, and they were, as they were making dough, doing the whole 9 yards. So I think there's.
I delivered pizza in high school.
Oh yeah, I did that too.
Original pizza. I made a lot of money actually.
Yeah. That and shoveling snow.
No. I just did that for my dad. Every time there was a snowstorm, I'd say, why don't you hire these kids? And my dad would always say, I have 3 sons. Get out and shovel snow.
Oh, that would have chapped my hide too.
Yeah.
For sure. All right.
I'm with you 100% on the pizza and bagels, by the way, fellow East Coasters.
That we have good stuff here or we don't?
No.
We don't.
Good pizza?
It's not, it just doesn't compare. They're trying. It's gotten a little better, but it's just not the same.
There's good stuff here. However, when I go to
argue.
New York, there's good stuff here, but when I go to New York and I taste it, I'm like, yeah, it's gotta be New York.
You're being desensitized.
It's the fumes, it's the noise, it's
right, Josephine. Come on,
pollution that gets involved in there. Oh, and yes, the water.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys are like hating on LA though. I mean, we got tacos, we got burritos.
100%.
Yeah.
No,
Tacos are
Tracy
better
said
here.
that. Yes, you
Hands
guys are just
down.
like, LA has horrible food. No, we
Cameron,
have really good food.
You
You
know
know,
my
I-
motto, don't you? You do know my motto. If
What-
I could
what's your
live my
motto?
day, if I could live my days in LA, my nights in New York, and my weekends in Paris, I would be fine.
Look at you.
Ooh.
All right, I'm in on that.
You're
Yeah,
on your way, Mari, with all your sales.
Yeah.
I hope
That's
so.
when it comes.
All right.
Hey, before is the meeting starting? No, don't worry about it.
It is now.
Oops.
It is now. Let's get this party started. We could start with being grateful for mediocre bagels and pizza on the West Coast, if you like. Pizza. I feel good about pizza. What about you guys? Tell me something good.
I took Marissa's
Go on,
advice.
Charlotte.
I took Marissa's advice and got my license renewed in 2 days.
Excellent. 2 days on that hot ticket.
Oh my God, it was so great.
Gotta love that. Excellent. We'll thank Marissa next time we see her. I'm thankful to have had I said this on the morning call, to have had a great moment in nature with my 16-year-old. We had a great time for 4 days. We just hiked and hung out and ate good food, and we binge watched Grace and Frankie. I mean, she was into it. You compromise. It was actually kind of funny. It was just really great to have some punctuation to a year, right? That did a little trip and really drastic change of scenery. We went to Yosemite. I highly recommend it. And if you go, I highly recommend the Evergreen Lodge. It was the perfect amount of rustic to amenities. They had, you're in the middle of nowhere, and they had really good food. And while the cabin, had a rustic flavor to it, it was clean, and it was well kept, and it had everything you needed, right? It really was great.
That's how cool Joey is. His 16-year-old is taking trips with him. That's impressive. That's when you know you did your job well.
It was just her and I, and we would not have it any other way. She's very cool. We have fun together. I'm grateful that my 16-year-old wants to spend time with me, and my 21-year-old calls me at least once, sometimes twice a day from college. As some of you know, but Yosemite is a magical place. If you haven't been, and it's accessible too, right? It's not like you don't have to do. You could do the mile hike instead of or you could do a 5-mile hike, right, or an 8-mile hike. There's so much to see, and it's, like I said, it's very accessible.
Did you have to make a reservation, Joey?
At the lodge, not at the park.
Not at the
is
park anymore?
totally-
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
cool.
while ago, they did have like a lottery to get into the park, but now anybody can.
Cool.
Yeah, yum, love it. Anybody else?
That sounds amazing, Joey, and your photos were beautiful.
Yeah, and that's just on my phone. They look like a postcard. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. I went with my family to San Francisco, and that was also so amazing. We walked across the city for hours every day. We went to a museum, we ate so well. It was just so perfect. And the nature is so lovely up in Northern California right now. Everything.
Wildflowers. Lorna's sporting some wildflowers there. Yeah.
I was
Yellow and purple too. That's a good, wild lavender, not the California poppies yet, but I don't know what kind of flowers they were, but they were bright yellow.
Yeah, bright, like almost like fluorescent, like yellow or light greenish. So pretty.
Yeah.
I was up there near you guys. I got to see my parents for the first time in over a year and a half. They live in Novato, which is right by San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to see them. And it was funny because I saw Joey's pictures of him driving up and I'm like, he's coming to where I am because we're not too far.
Absolutely.
It was
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, it's really close to San Francisco. I didn't realize how close it was to San Francisco.
Yeah. It
It's
was
kinda
nice
on
to
the-
be able to hug my parents, though. That was something good for sure.
I bet. Yay, more of that to come. All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's dive in. What do you got, Cam? On what's happening this week? Did I say, is Ed still out or Ed's still here? Yeah, Ed's here? I can't tell.
No, Ed's out. Rob's on.
All right, we're still doing the morning call, 9 a.m. Rob was standing in, I was there today. Jump on in.
A lot of great sharing. We actually, on Friday, Ed talked about, we were beginning Q2. So Monday morning, we just talked about those of us that were challenged by Ed on Friday to go over our business plan, which is something that is great to review like every quarter and just see where we're at and make the adjustments we need to make.
And I would encourage you guys still to Rob's point, yes, you have your yearly business plan, but doing a 90-day business plan can really help you focus on the elements that are really kind of focused on today, you know what I mean? To the opportunity of the next 90 days, right? How can I get the most out of that 90-day period, those 3 months from now till halfway through the year, and really, because this moment is different than the first quarter of the year, is different than the third quarter of the year, is different than the fourth quarter of the year, right? There's nuance to all of them. So, and some of it is unpredictable, but we can predict it more accurately the next 90 days. So look at your business plan, but also look at the next 90 days of your business and what you want to accomplish specifically in this time. This is, seasonality, although has not played a major part in the last 3 quarters, it may play a part in the next 2 quarters. So let's take advantage of this moment. Is my big push for you guys. All right, let's go, Cam. All right, yeah, we just did that. There you go. All right, you guys, I really need your help in promoting Red Day to drive some traffic to our GoFundMe page, right? It's an amazing opportunity for us to sponsor one of these tiny homes. These tiny homes can house 2 people in a civilized environment with supportive services like drug and alcohol, rehabilitation programs, job placement programs, and just like a secure place to live for people who have been living in insecurity for a long time. So I actually drove by this on the way home from the 170, one of their sites, and it's cheerful and lovely, and they have food, they have like I said, the social services, as well as hygiene and clothing and everything else. This is the step between living on the street and restarting your life, right? And so we can make a lot of difference, not just with our own donations. I'm not asking you to bear this weight yourselves. I'm saying use this as a way to define your brand also, and to show your community that you are out there helping the community. I think this is a really great way to show your commitment to your community, right? And share that opportunity to contribute with them, right? We have a goal, we have a goal to do one of these, which is at $3,000. We could sponsor one for $3,000, one of these tiny homes. But I'd like to actually, I think we could do two. I think we really, if we promote this in our social media and our emails to our clients, that we can easily raise $6,000. All right. And then there's some other ways we can also assist. And Cam, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so just going off of what Joey said about, just setting up your brand and trying to get it out there. I sent out a MailChimp to everyone a couple days ago, and it's basically a template that you could use on your social media pages. So you could use it on Instagram, super Instagram friendly. You use it on Facebook as well. You just save the image. You could save it on your phone, save it on your desktop, and then go over to that page. So Instagram, for example, save it, clip it, copy and paste the text that's there in the email thread, and it's out. Or if you really want to tell a story on your Facebook feed or on your Instagram story, you could always save the images below. If you scroll down the email, you'll see it. Put it on your story. It tells a great description of what the company is, everything that they stand for, and it looks pretty. It's very consistent, and it makes people want to be like, hey, that looks cool. I want to donate. I want to check it out. You can always put the GoFundMe link in your profile as well. So that, again, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the email, it's there. Or if you get the daily emails as well, you can always just copy the GoFundMe link. The same exact one will work. And then the other thing that we have an Amazon list of items that you could bring into the office before May 13th. So the deadline's May 12th. And we'll drop them off to Hope of the Valley on the 13th, either me or Laura Anderson. And it's basically just a wish list that every little house needs. So, there's a bed in there, there's a first aid kit, there's lights, a flashlight, all necessities that are needed to, operate and fully deck out a tiny home with all the essentials. So that, again, if you don't want to donate, that's always a good resource.
Own this cause. Own it for your brand. Put your brand on it. This is not about Keller Williams Larchmont or even about Keller Williams. Make it about you, right? Make it about your brand. Bring it into your brand. Use it as a tool to define your brand moving forward, right? Don't it's not an arm's length experience. All right, upcoming classes. We got Scott Leroy Marketing. Scott Leroy is live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., answering every question about KW Command that you could possibly think of. I'm going to be teaching this class. I read this great article, 8 Skills for 2021, and I built a little class around it. I think it's chock full of things we can do. It's about being of value in this moment, right? And I'm going to go deep on a bunch of these points and hopefully bring some value to the conversation. I was pretty excited about it.
Joey, are you sending a link for that, or is that a registration situation?
No, I don't think it's a registration, but a link will go out. Yes, a link will go out. It's the 15th. Yeah, we'll get a link out prior. So let's Cam will send out maybe an invite and a link for it. Okay.
Yeah, so the invite, it should be coming out very, very soon. We're actually collaborating with Beach Cities on it. So we're trying to get like a full cohesive link so that, you know, our office and Beach Cities, they can both join, and, you know, it's easy for everyone.
Excellent. All right, also Keller Williams KW Masterminds are April 21st to 22nd. It's the difference between this event and Family Reunion and the and Mega Camp is these are peer groups, right? There's some education in it, but you're breaking down into peer groups, and you're really diving into the issues that that exist in your level of production, and so you're really hearing the problem solving from people all over the country. It's a very interesting process, and that's April 21st and 22nd. You can get more information about that on KW Command. Ven, you want to talk about, is Ven on?
I'm here, guys.
You want to talk about your target marketing, target farming class?
Yeah, we'll do that on the 22nd from 11:30 to 12:45. Add this to the 90-day business plan that Joey just talked about, and Ed. Let's get some leads going, and it's working for my other clients. So let's jump on it, guys. Excellent.
All right, thanks, Ben. Cam's having some fun with the graphics too. Night 2.0 is returning on the 26th of January, February, March, April 26th this month. We'll be starting that. I believe we're still doing it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday. Thursday and Friday. That might change a little bit. We're trying to integrate a little more command training into it, so that might change ever so slightly. We have some time. Andy, did I see Andy on our call today? Yeah.
Hi.
I thought I saw you.
I'm here.
How you doing, Miss Andy?
I'm good. You know, can't complain. I mentioned this I wasn't on last week. I was en route coming back from Montana, and you know, I'll tell you, that place never gets old. It doesn't. Went to Yellowstone again. I think it was probably my, I don't know, 6th or 10th time or something in a year, and it's a good refresher. Anyway, inflation. The higher inflation goes, the higher interest rates go. The Feds are meeting today at 2 o'clock. There's going to be some updates and information regarding inflation and what they're speculating. I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. We're anticipating a transitory situation in terms of rates and inflation. I think over the summer months, and come May, June, July, August, and so forth, we're going to see an uptick on interest rates. So just beware. That can obviously impact buyers qualifying and buying power and so forth. So just be on the lookout for that, and I'm happy to provide any information and updates from that perspective.
What do we think the Fed's going to say today? What are the?
I don't know.
No, I know you don't know, but sometimes they have like an idea of, like, you know, are they going to raise the lending rate? Are they going to, you know?
No, I mean, the tough part is, and the big misconception about it is that the Feds are not, they're not expected to raise the prime rate, right? And the prime rate is what dictates short-term money. When we're talking about interest rates for mortgage loans are not short-term money, and not not necessarily dictated by the prime rate. Prime rate is going to be credit cards, it's going to be car loans, things like that, short-term money, right? And so everything says that rates are going to remain low. The prime rate is going to remain low. The tough part is that from a mortgage perspective, when you're talking about inflation and the value of the dollar and cost of goods going up and so forth, mortgages are traded just like stocks are. Mortgage bonds are very much a security. They're traded on the open market. And all of a sudden, when you're talking about the dollar not being worth $1 and the cost of goods going up, all of a sudden that long-term bond that we're talking about, a 30-year mortgage bond, is not worth what investors are paying for them. And so they pull out of the market and buy less and buy fewer of the mortgage bonds. And that's what causes interest rates to go up. It's a supply and demand issue. When investors don't have an appetite for mortgage bonds, interest rates go up. And the inflation fears are pulling investors out of the bond market. And so that's causing rates to go up. So
right.
just be
but
on the lookout.
It's preemptively. It's not based on anything. Well, it's based on you know, a lot of things, but it's based on numbers, right? Now it's preemptively.
Yes.
They're pulling out, or they're being cautious.
Yeah. Yep. So just be on the lookout the next several months. Inflation rates are viewed and analyzed year over year. And so if we're talking about this time last year, we were right in the middle of a new lockdown situation. And so naturally, if you're comparing where we are right now versus last year, the inflation rate's going to be much different, and it's going to be a pretty substantial spike. So that's all I got. Things are good. Market's hot. I had 9 buyers go into escrow, you guys, in the last couple of days, which
wow
is big. One of them was up against 32 other offers. One of them was up against 40 other offers. It's possible, and we're still moving and shaking.
Somebody's getting the deals.
Alex Dion just chimed in. We have one of her buyers that are in escrow.
Congratulations, Alex.
Thank you. That was the 4th or 5th try.
Yeah, what's actually Hayden asked about a 40-year mortgage, or is that just some urban myth?
There is, and there used to be a lot more 40-year loan terms out there. It's very much a niche product. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are not doing 40-year terms. It's a niche situation. So.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah.
Our usual. All right, what do we have next? We have Ven or Raha I think it's Raha next. Raha, are you, I didn't see Raha on there. I don't think she's here today. So let's go to Ven.
Hey, well, hello again. How are you guys doing?
Where does the time go?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, the market definitely is hot for sure. I mean, ultimately, things are selling, I think, 20 days at most on average. But like Andy's saying, and what you're saying, Joey, you can definitely still get an offer in. Just got to do it right and whatnot. So anyhow, yeah, exactly. Just it's a numbers game. Again, you know, I'll push the farming class again for in the next 2 weeks. I'll try to be there if you guys can. If not, I can always, you know, get the video if there's a video to send over. But let's get out there and get more business for sure.
Yeah, you actually get to participate in the class when you show up to it, right?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thanks, Ven.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I just want to chime in real quick because Raha's not on the call. Just want to let everyone know that we have an updated residential paperwork checklist that can be found in the master folder. If you guys need help accessing that, just shoot me or Cameron an email and we'll get you access. But yeah, there is a new residential checklist created and updated in the Google Drive. So, you know, make sure you're following that when you're uploading all your paperwork. We're working on uploading or updating all the other checklists. So just, you know, stay tuned for that.
Thanks, Brian. Also, well, I don't know if it'll come up again, but let's not forget about the KWLagentservices.com. website. It's I've gotten some amazing feedback from it. Let's use it. It's great. It's a jumping platform, right?
And all education, so like Ignite classes, all that stuff is on the website. If you ever have any questions or you want to join, Zoom links are always on there.
All right. Yeah, Dragon suggests sending it out, which I'm not super opposed to, but Dragon, the thing is that if we're going to update, I don't want it to become a static form for somebody if we're going in there and updating it. So we'll work that out somehow. All right, maybe send out the link to it directly so that we're able to, update it moving forward. All right, next is. All right, let's get into the happenings. All right, we got some birthdays. Patricia Pelton and Joe Connolly and Chris Brotman. You coming up. What's today's date? Today is the 7th. All right, 3 days. So Joe Connolly and Patty Pelton today, and Itai on the 13th. Joe and John Lee on the 11th. Happy birthday to you all, guys. We got some closed escrows this week. We have Brian Studzenacher and Pete and Dragana. Congratulations to you all for closed escrows this week, you guys. Excellent job. Also some new escrows. This is like a pipeline conversation, right? You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 2 weeks in a row. We've had long lists like this. This is, in 30 days, this is making our April, May look really, really great. So we got Peter and An and Chelsea Kyles, Paul Yu, Pete Bonacore, Champ Davenport, Ji-Sun, also Russell Roney, Stefan, Philip Minter, Terry Geiger, also Hyok-Chon. That's not Gina, or maybe it is Gina, Gina Sean. Okay, congratulations, you guys. That's excellent work for 1 week, right? Oh, more new escrows. This is even better. Stefan and Eric Schulman. I love seeing you two working together, as well as Alex Dion, Heidi Davis, Leif Martinoff, Charlotte Blake, Jacqueline Jantz, Tiffany Chin, and Antron. Downtown, I talked to An this week. And if any of you guys are doing work downtown, you know that it's been a real challenge over the last year for sales downtown, and An was telling me that it really is it's starting to come back. Downtown's starting to come back. The values are starting to come back, and sales are starting to happen. So there's an indication right there. All right, Cam, get me. All right, closed leases. Tracy, congratulations. Gabrielle Shutter, congratulations. Red Real Estate and Russell Roney all closed leases last week. And some new listings. Daehung Park. Day Park has a $2.7 million property in Sherman Oaks. There is actually, if anybody's interested, there is actually land. I believe there are 2 parcels of land, one on either side of this also, if anybody was interested. But the house itself, 2.7, you can see it crawls up the hill a little bit, and it sits actually at the top of the hill. It's actually a nice property. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, and 3,600 square feet. Heidi Davis has a property on Vista, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,871 for 1.19. That's 116 South Vista. Great neighborhood. Russell Roney in the Barker Block, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,800 square feet, which is really large, is $825,000. That actually seems like a good price for that.
Heidi's, Joey, Heidi's is 195, not 119.
Okay, 195. Thanks, Charlotte. Kalina has a property on Tremaine, a lease. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,800 square feet for $3,800 a month. It did seem a little like a bargain. Heidi's, that is. All right, go ahead.
I am gonna get inundated with phone calls. About
Yeah, for 119. Heidi also has Charnock property, and that is 1,575, 1,575,000, 7 bedrooms, 3 baths. That's a lot of bedrooms. At 3,285 square feet. John Barentine and the Red Group have Sarah Bonita, a lovely property on 1,300 blocks south of Sarah Bonita, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,578 square feet for $1.6 million. Michael Wegman has a property on Duane, a condo that is 2-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,235 square feet for $1.1 million. Nina Moon on Grand, 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,100 square feet for $628,000. And David Lubell. David and Craig have this beautiful property on Vista, 820 North Vista. It's a gorgeous property, 5 bedrooms, 6 baths, 5,378 square feet. It's a huge square footprint, and it is $4,595,000. It's a beauty. Boom. All right, and that's all the listings we had this week. Is there anybody who would like to share a pocket or something we may have missed? It happens on occasion.
Joey, it's Lorna. I'll just say our listing at 932 South Oakland in Madison Heights, Pasadena just went live this morning. So guys, check it out. There's some beautiful video, photos, everything you need.
Any flavor on that? Bedroom,
yes.
Bath, cost?
2.4 million, 3 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, almost 3,000 square feet on a 9,000 square foot lot and some change.
That sounds fabulous.
Really pretty.
Yeah. Can't wait to see it. All right.
A
Anyone
couple
else?
of leases that are not on the MLS. Well, one of them is actually. I have a 4-bedroom in Hollywood, 4-bedroom townhouse, newer construction, 3,800 on that one. It's a great buy, great price. And then I have also Hollywood, close to Larchmont, 2-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse style, 2,200, which is a really great price for that one. It only has 1 attached wall, so it's like a duplex technically. And then I have just dropped the price on a brand new 1-bedroom, 1-bath in North Hollywood, right near NoHo West. That one is $1,750 now, and we're offering 1 month free. So, really great pricing.
Good for you for being able to be aggressive on the pricing, because it's kind of a competitive leasing moment, right?
It's interesting. The leasing market and the sales market are so out of sync right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just really weird.
True. Well, you have too many buyers for too little property on the sales side, and now on the lease side, you have too many properties too many properties, too many lessees, yeah, for for not enough lessees, right?
But it's weird because, it's not like housing has become affordable. People who couldn't afford it 5 years ago or 3 years ago, that.
Yeah,
It's all different for lease market. I feel like different parts of it are completely different. If you have like a single family residence, that's what everybody wants. Or like, I feel like duplexes or triplexes with any type of outdoor space that goes like flies off the shelf and really high price, but everything else, sits around.
Yeah, but I mean, absolutely. But what I've noticed, Dragon, tell me if you've seen the same thing, is if we look back, let's say 2 years ago, even those nice single families, they were renting for more money 2 years ago than they are today. And you could have bought it for 20% less than you could buy it for today. So it's like an inverse relationship. It's really weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I'm seeing like super high prices for like single family residences. And if they're in good shape, and ready to go, they will be gone like within days. Like I mean, like 2-bedroom houses, like so few less than $5,000. Like it's crazy.
Right. Well, that's price point comes into play also, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Well, great, guys. Thanks. Anybody else have a property that's, or a, property that they'd like to pitch? No? All right, let's move forward. Oh, and now we have a special presentation. Cameron, do you want to tell me what that is? I always get befuddled by it.
Yeah, so today we actually have a presentation with Carl McGee from A People's Choice. So he is a legal document advisor, along with some other services as well, which we'll get into. However, he is currently here in the actual office. It looks like there was a mix-up with the invite. So he's actually going to take over my Zoom camera in a little bit. However, before I go, I am going to just drop the link to the new drive folder that we have. I got a couple chat requests for that, so bear with me. And when you'll see the link, and then Carl will be taking over, okay? Just give me 1 second.
Hey, Joey.
Yes.
It's Alex. Just want to fill the bucket for a sec. I know we'll probably do that at the end, but I gotta say, Andy's just really killing it for me right now. Just being able to offer like quick turnaround on appraisals. I don't have any other lenders that my clients are working with who can go as fast as her, as Movement can. I mean, it's amazing. Like I asked her about it too, and she was like, well, they pay quickly. And I'm like, of course, like that makes perfect sense. Like incentivize people to get this stuff done. Like I was in an escrow, and the appraisal, we were in escrow for over 2 weeks before the appraisal company even called. And we were on such a tight deadline, and people are also having to waive appraisals now just to get an offer in. So it's like time is of the essence. So anyway, I just
absolutely
shout out to
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Andy is amazing. I also wanted to say that I had the worst nightmare with Citibank, which my client was using, and do not approve any escrows offers with Citibank, or like don't let your clients pick Citibank, because it was also, the appraisal was not even ordered until day 17th. Loan approval came in on day 31.
Exactly.
It was insane. No straight answers. My clients were pre-approved for 1.5 with 300 down. they got approved with Citibank, which had insight in all their finances for many years because they had the account there, for 300 less, like on day 31. It was like the biggest nightmare I ever dealt with. And, you know, like, will never, ever, I will use this story for every single client that comes my way.
Yeah, I mean, it's, again, banks are, I'll try to be as politically correct as possible. Banks have a much more narrow criteria to which they lend on. If you fit it, it could be a great opportunity for you. If you don't fit in it, if you challenge it in any way, you fall off the edge real quick. And they, their process just takes longer. It's a bureaucratic process that is not nimble in any way, shape, or form. So if you're outside the lines or you're time sensitive, banks are challenging for sure. Bank lending is challenging. All right, let's get to our special guest today. You ready to go?
All set to go.
All right, jump in there.
Okay, great. I'm Carl McGee, as you heard earlier. Thank you so much for inviting me here. It's a pleasure meeting you folks. We're just going to take a few minutes and go over an overview of the living trust process to give people an idea of why it's needed, what it is, and how it basically works. So what it is it's a contract, actually, something like an escrow document. It brings in a number of entities and people so that they have a clear agreement on what's going to happen to debts and assets when someone dies. The state needs to be in there as one of the primary participants, because the state is the one that has to bring you into court if there aren't the kind of parameters that clearly define what happens to your assets and debts when you die. They basically set up a situation where if you have assets of over $166,000, they can prevent your heirs from getting those assets until you qualify through a court process called probate, which basically should be called nightmare because it's the worst thing that can happen to the decedent, his family, and his assets. The other players are the person that you pick to be the manager of your trust after you passed on. They're called the successor trustee, and their job is to follow the instructions in your trust and distribute the assets, pay the debts in the manner that you outlined in your trust. Obviously, there's also the beneficiaries. Have you lost me? You've got an avatar or something will work as well. Looks better than me.
No, so, we've got you. We see you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Warren. So your beneficiaries are the main players also because they're the ones that get your assets. They're part of the contract. So this contract endeavors to do something very complicated and difficult, but it works very well. And what it does is it prevents the probate process by outlining every issue that has to do with your death, the dispersion of your assets, the paying of all of your taxes and things like that. So it is so effective, it prevents a probate. The court actually can't wedge their way in saying, well, this guy's got $1 million. We think we better check and make sure all his debts and his taxes get paid. You can merely go on, pay your beneficiaries what they need, take care of the funeral, do everything you need without any interference whatsoever. So that's why it's become so popular and a product that we've gotten involved with quite a bit in the last 6 years or so. Now, what we've done that may be interesting and a little revolutionary is we figured out how to lower the price and stabilize the product. And the way we do that, and a number of companies are doing it, it's not just us, we move the attorneys to the background as supervising attorneys, put the paralegals to the foreground as people that help build the trust. And that makes it more economical and smoother and more stable for people that have limited assets and probably limited debts. That is to say, for people that are probably under 15 million or so. They don't really need a lot of tax planning because the tax planning that's built into the product takes care of that. They don't need a lot of legal issues that become very expensive at $500 an hour. So we get that product out to them without the expense, but the same safety of a stable legal product. Let's talk about what the product is. It is an amalgamation of number of people that have principal roles in it that makes it very stable. There's a mystery there, and I want to see if I can dispel that in just a few minutes of what it is. Let's say you had a car. Everyone drives a car and is kind of familiar with how cars work. The wheel in the front of the driver would be the trust document, about 22 pages if it's written possible. It's not small. If you have a trust with 5 or 6, 7 pages, it's not adequate. There are things missing in it. So if you've got 20, 25 pages there that do one specific thing, that wheel keeps the state from stepping in because it addresses every law on the books in California about how your state should be handled, how things should be distributed, how things should be held. And it gives you a lot of options. If you've got a special needs child, money can be held for them so they continue to get their state and government benefits, even though they get their inheritance. The second wheel on my 4-wheel car is the will. No matter what you do, greatest living trust in the world still has to have a will. So we've got a will in there. It's much smarter than a normal will, but the will and the trust are critical to work in tandem. You can't function without those two, and they're there. What the discount sellers are going to try to do to you that you must watch is they're going to sell you a car with 2 wheels. The 2 back wheels you really need are a living trust power of attorney for finance. So if you get sick or hurt while you're still alive, you've appointed someone to handle your business and make sure things don't get out of hand. So that's an important component. And if it's a good life estate document, that 3rd wheel must be there. 4th wheel is a health power of attorney, does the same thing, but its main purpose is to allow someone that you trust to work with your health providers in case you're in a serious situation and you can make decisions on your health because you're not capable of doing it yourself. So those 4 wheels on my car are critical. And if you look at a trust, you think about buying it or whatever, and you're not talking about the trust, the will, a power of attorney for finance, a power of attorney for health, and you don't have everything you need there. Now, one of the financial tricks I want to watch you out for, even if they say they have the 4 pieces and they sell you a 4-wheel car, that's still not going to allow that car to get to where you need to be in terms of a living trust. You also need a deed, because it's critical that your property or properties are put into the trust. That is to say, they are not in you and your wife's name or just your name. They must be titled into the name of the trust to prevent them from going to probate. That is to say, if you had a trust and you left a property out, everything else could be handled well without any court interference, but that property that was not titled into the trust would go to probate by itself. So if your provider that you're considering buying from does not talk about getting you a deed or a deed for every property that's part of your trust, you've got a problem, because deeds are complicated and they can be expensive. So they should either provide you with a name and a company that can be depended on to do the deed effectively, while at the same time either doing the deed themselves at an additional charge or working it out some way. As an example, if you were to go to LegalZoom to buy a deed because you got a great trust and it had no deed, that deed could easily cost you over $200. So let's look at the financial ends of what you're trying to get or your customer is trying to get at a reasonable cost and an effective product. That is to say, we want to get a trust as I mentioned before, a will, a power of attorney for health and finance, and we want to get that deed. But even if you get those 5 products, you got to be careful because there's a number 6 product that's crucial also, and that is notary public services. If you've got trust, will, 2 power of attorneys and a deed, all of those documents need to be notarized. And the average well-built trust that's rather robust and may have 60 pages in it could easily have $130, $150 worth of notaries. So to summarize what I'm trying to say is, start talking about a provider for your living trust. You really want a provider that's going to take care of all 6 of those issues and give you a package. You could do it a la carte if you wanted to, but generally it's not cost effective and it just doesn't work well. So you want them to talk about the trust and the will. Everybody will do that. You don't have a living trust without a trust and will. But you need to get those power of attorneys. They can be very important to the whole life estate process. And they need to talk about how the will be facilitated and who's going to do the notary. Perhaps have a notary in-house, perhaps have a company that gives you a discount at $15 a signature with a minimum of 10, 12 signatures in there. That's an important feature. So now you've got a good document to work with. It's going to be effective. It could last you the rest of your life. So I think that's a good situation. One way to scope out a trust is it's hard for it to be complete and not be more than 50 pages. I've worked with clients that had already bought a trust from companies, LegalZoom, online, whatever. If it's 30 pages or thereabouts, that can't get everything in there with those 2 pages. You need more pages. So if your provider is talking about all the products and they have a sample for you to see, and it looks like it's at least 55, 65 pages, you probably got something good to work with. One last issue I would have a concern about if I were you is you need longevity of provider occupation of the marketplace. That is to say, this isn't something you want to buy from somebody that started doing it 5 years ago, because it takes a lot to learn. It takes a lot to stabilize that product. So they should be in business for a while to be doing the kind of work and keeping up with the product the way it needs to. And I'm going to try to answer one thing now to clarify a really important issue. So some people will immediately say, after I give this spiel and say, this is an effective way to get it at a reasonable cost, it can work well for you, save money. How do you do this? Okay, what's happened to make this work so well in the last 10, 12 years is that there are a number of living trust products on the market, much like there's a number of escrow products on the market, where those software packages generate that paperwork. Back in the old days, as an old timer, when you went to escrow, you had 2 lawyers. You just didn't sell a house without a lawyer for the buyer and a lawyer for the seller. And the escrow paperwork was basically typed up by a clerk or a legal secretary. Escrow documents, I think all of you know at this point, are just generated by a computer that's customized to that particular sale. Living trust products are the same thing. No matter if you go to a $3,000 lawyer or a $700 paralegal, they've got an application that creates that document based on the parameters that are put in by the person that runs the software. That's what's made it magically work so well and effective and always be on point, because the program is smart enough to ask the right question and see if there are conflicts that have been submitted that would not be effective for the client. Let's take a few questions if you have any. I know your time is short. You end up about 12 on. Does anyone have any questions on what I've covered so far?
Thanks, Carl. Does anybody have any questions for Carl? That's great, Carl. That's a great alternative that you're offering to the expense of the legal services building building trust and such. And it really, to your point, it's really everyone should have a trust. It's a roadmap to solving so many problems after we leave this mortal coil, right?
Right, it does all kinds of magical things you'd never think about. The new reverse mortgage thing. I notice what they're doing now when I look at some of their contracts is they're saying that we should have precedence in the sale of the house. The last house sale I was involved with the trust client that died, the reverse mortgage company came in and said, well, we should set the price, given our stake in it, that, you know, 600,000 is owed to us, we should set the price. I'm not so sure the reverse mortgage company should be setting the price on a piece of real estate. That's not their specialty expertise. With another client, they had a duplex. The reverse mortgage came in and say, we should usurp your trustee because there are rents to be collected. So we're going to kind of manage the duplex until we get it sold.
Yep.
Smart Living Trust reserve the rights of the trustee who has just died to say that the living trust will not let the reverse mortgage company run over it. If you've got a child that has special needs, perhaps he or she is autistic, you can hold a good amount of money within that trust where that child can get to it for the rest of their life, but not lose the benefits that they would if that money was passed into their control or their name. So it does a lot of smart stuff.
A lot of details. Well, you know what, Carl, I am committed to getting everybody out of here on time. So, you know, I'm sorry to cut you short a little bit. Maybe later on down the line, you could teach a class. I'm sure that there's lots of interest in understanding the finer points of building a living trust or trust. And again, I think it's that everybody should have one.
Great. And what I'd like to say is we're really trying to educate people. You don't have to buy from us. There's a lot of good providers out there. We just want there to be quality of product, just like there's quality with companies like Keller Williams. If you have a question, you're not obligated to buy from us or anything. Don't hesitate to call me about it.
Great, that's great, Carl. We'll put your information in the office meeting email that goes out also.
Terrific. Thank you all, and good luck and be safe.
You have a great day.
You too. Bye now.
All right. All right. Let's wrap this up. Did I miss anything? Or fill the buckets or any other wants or needs that people have that they'd like to ask or share? All right, if not, I'm going to say goodbye for a week and I'll see you guys next Wednesday, if not sooner. All right, have a great week, you guys. Do something special for yourself. Thank you. Bye, guys.